For millions of people, one English test decides whether they can study abroad, land the job, or build a life in a new country. That test is IELTS, and good practice for it is scarce and expensive. So at PrepareBuddy, we set out to build our own AI to create it, and to answer a bigger question while we were at it. The industry assumes smarter AI just means a bigger model. We suspected the opposite, that how you teach a model matters more than how big its brain is. If we were right, ours could run on a laptop, not a data center. Here's what we ended up with: a family of 3 open models, trained on 1,400 examples we curated and balanced by hand, covering 14 question types across all 4 sections of the exam. We started small, literally, on a laptop. We tried the little open models first, a few 100 million parameters, then 1.5 billion, then 3 billion. They picked up the shape of IELTS questions quickly, but not the logic. They simply weren't smart enough. So we climbed to a stronger base, Quen 3.5, and that's where there was a catch. Training the bigger models kept crashing the laptop, a real driver bug under heavy load. So training moved to a 48GB cloud GPU server, while the finished models still run back on a normal laptop. Build it big, ship it small. And our first serious fine-tune on the new base didn't just underperform, it got worse. One of the trickiest answer types, not given, almost vanished from the model's answers. The untrained model hadn't had that problem. We had made it worse. The cause wasn't the model's intelligence, it was our data. Not given was only about 2% of our examples, so the model learned to almost never use it. We'd nearly blamed the model for a mistake that was ours. So we rebuilt the data, balanced, with the reasoning spelled out, grounded in real facts. Even getting the questions to read naturally took 3 tries, from 40% of them sounding absurd, down to 0. Then the real experiment. The same data, taught to 3 sizes, a small 2 billion model, a medium 4 billion, and a large 9 billion. The results surprised us. The small one leapt from 40 to 80%. We'd turned it into a genuine specialist at judging answers. The medium and large barely moved, because they were already capable. Careful data transformed the model that needed it most. On that one skill, but each model has its own shape, and we're honest about all of it. The small 2B is the sharpest judge, but weak at completing answers, so we ground it in a real passage. The 4B is the all-rounder, balanced across the board. The 9B gets the facts right most often, the best at facts, though no better at the hard verdict reasoning. 12 of the 14 question types are already, which taught us the most important thing: no single model is the product. The trained model is a strong drafter. Reliability comes from the system around it. Write every question against a real passage, so the facts come from the source. Then have a second AI, recheck the logic of every answer. A quiet bonus: the same training that made our small model a better writer made it a better checker too. End to end, that lifts accepted answers. And it works. Pick a section and a topic, and it writes the task in a model answer, running locally, on a Mac. We've open-sourced the whole family, 3 sizes, a browser demo, and the full technical report, including every place it still needs a human. To be clear, these open models generate practice. Accurate scoring is a separate, far more rigorous system, and that's 3 lessons. Careful teaching can beat raw scale. Don't mistake a data problem for a hard limit, and always read what your AI produces. We're proud of this, not because it's perfect, it isn't, and we tell you where, but because it's a real, open piece of engineering, built on our own data and measured end to end. Built by PrepareBuddy.